one of the things I tell young men, well, and young women as well, but the young men really need to hear this more, I think, is that you should be a monster. You know, because everyone says, well, you should be harmless, virtuous. You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your competitive instinct. You shouldn't try to win. You know, you don't want to be too aggressive. You don't want to be too assertive. You want to take a back seat and all of that. It's like, no. Wrong. You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. This is a message to the men and the women, but mostly to the women. Your man has to be deadly. He has to be dangerous. He has to be lethal. And some of you women are scared of dangerous men. But by nature, he has to be dangerous so that he can protect you, so that he can protect himself. Because if he can't protect himself, then he can't protect others. You can't pour from an empty cup. Now, obviously, a man is not supposed to be dangerous towards his family, but we'll get to that. You know, we live in the safest times that man has ever known, arguably. I don't think there's been a more secure time in human history to be a human, at least in Western society, for those of us who live here. But that can change from one moment to the next. And it doesn't have to be an apocalypse. It doesn't have to be national wars breaking out or civil wars breaking out, although those are realistic and those can happen, as inconceivable as it may seem. The reality is, it could take something as simple as a burglary, something as simple as an Islamophobic attack on the streets, or maybe just some desperate mugger on the streets looking for, you know, a quick couple of bucks out of your wallet or your purse or whatever else. Your man has to be dangerous in order to protect you and whatever family he has with you. Even if you're not married, your brothers need to be dangerous in order to protect you as a sibling. Your father needs to be dangerous to protect his children. The men around you have to be dangerous. Imagine a situation where the Sahaba were not lethal, where they weren't swordsmen, where they weren't archers, where they weren't spearmen. They went to war. They had to be dangerous. And again, nothing has really changed in human society. We still live in dangerous times. Even though these are the most secure times we live in, society is not a safe place. It is not a safe zone as much as women like to, you know, think it's going to be. It never will be. So I find it odd because I had this conversation with a sister recently and she was afraid of all men because they're dangerous. You know, I told my wife this. I said, "You think I'm dangerous?" She said, "Yes, I want you to be dangerous." And I thought to myself about the difference in mentalities there, about how significant this was. And then I really thought about it, and men have to be, absolutely must be dangerous. We talk about it all the time. In the past, we talked about it. What happened in Australia, where the masjid was attacked by a gunman, and he killed a lot of people. And he could have easily been overrun. But our guys weren't dangerous. There are places, even in the US prison system, where people would never think to attack the Muslims because the Muslims are known to be dangerous. We don't fear the judgment of the people who are the most violent on the planet, who go around blowing up entire nations, overrunning and destroying entire nations, destabilizing entire nations when they call us terrorists. But they go around the world terrorizing everyone, nations, entire countries, entire populations, killing their women, killing their children. From Abuamerican, whatever that place is, that prison, you know, that they were torturing people. Yet and still, we're going to take their proclamations and their declarations and their concerns about us and their society seriously. Yes, there are dangerous people amongst the Muslims. There are also dangerous people amongst the non-Muslims. And when we can do comparisons in numbers, we can tell you who is more dangerous on a whole. Don't be afraid to be dangerous. That doesn't mean, now we get into the most important part, that you are dangerous to your family or your society. You're dangerous to those that would harm you and your family. You're dangerous to those who would come towards you and your people with hostile intent. That's your job and your duty as a man. And women understand that's the job and the duty of your man. Don't wish for a man that isn't dangerous. Because when push comes to shove, who's going to save you? You're in a situation where seconds count and the police are minutes away. If you even get the opportunity to call them, or someone is there to call them on your behalf. And if no one intervenes, which is your hope most of the time as women, then they're probably going to be a victim just like the rest of you. Guys, wallahi, it's a problem. Shame yourself if you call another man to be your hero, to be the hero of your women folk. Be ashamed of yourself if you have to call another man to be your children and your wife's hero. I don't know what's wrong with some of you women today. You're really in a different world. You're really in a different world. You've taken on this idea that you're safe amongst people who hate you, who hate your hijab, who hate everything you represent, if you're even wearing hijab. But they hate everything you represent in your ideology, aka Islam. They'd love to see the end of you and Islam. They smile in your face, but they hate you with their heart. And you want a weak man. You want a man who's not dangerous. You're almost as sad and pathetic as the man who is not dangerous. Maybe it's appropriate that you should find such a man, because y'all definitely belong together. And no harm intended, no evil intended in my following statement. But then may Allah remove you people from our ranks through your weakness. May He grant you His Jannah, but you serve us like absolutely nothing. Weak in the mind, weak in the heart, weak in the arms. There's nothing about you that we want amongst us. You offer us no strength. You collapse under their heavy brows where they look at you like, oh, you evil Muslims, why are you learning how to fight? Why are you learning how to use weapons? Why are you buying weapons? And you panic and you're afraid. You're weak. And that right there is intellect and heart alone. That alone right there, when you let those people browbeat you, oh, well, you know, just like Mr. Knitting, when the people were saying he needs to protect himself, you know, because people would say he's maybe a terrorist or he's this or he's that. Weak. Because those same people that say that, those are the people who rack up guns in America and buy thousands of rounds of ammunition, preparing for, well, the Muslims might attack and we need to kill them. We need to do this, ready for their race wars and all this type of other stuff. Open about their desire and their hatred, their desire to harm people and their hatred for other people, us people. And then not only that, you're willing to actually be weak. You're actually willing to not learn, to not go out and find ways to protect yourself. And so you're physically weak also. There's nothing you have to offer us. So may Allah grant you forgiveness and khair in the next life, but hopefully He removes you from our ranks in this life. It's how much I despise weakness. So let you sisters who want weak, soft men get them. And when the time comes, well, the sheep have no place among a pack of wolves. Allah Kareem.